Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 update 1.32. So alongside the new update are 4 brand new events, 3 of which are tied to a cafe menu surrounding the Super Formula SF23. They will take up 3 of the 4 events, going to Fuji, St. Crow and Watkins Glen, as well as the kind of oddball event of the 4 being a bit of a hypercar parade around Interlagos, which is mainly to showcase the Jaguar. So let's get into the first event of the 4. I'm going to go with the Super Formula at Watkins Glen. This is part of your cafe menu. So we're going to have a look how to beat this event. Now there is a few kind of words going around out there about these new events being a little bit glitchy and that the AI is very much inconsistent. They're kind of either, not pitting, or they're just stupidly fast and they just produce a ridiculous gap that you just cannot beat. Now I'm going to try and do most of these on normal difficulty, and I feel like Watkins Glen is definitely, I'd say, one of the easier ones of the bunch. I only noticed kind of a bit of that inconsistency really with the one at Fuji. So let's focus on Watkins Glen to begin with. So this event is very much straightforward. There's no weather to worry about, and all you really need to do is just slap a set of racing softs on. This will allow you to push through the grid unless you kind of get in a big accident, which I'll show you a bit of a clip of later. And in all honesty, you just want to be doing a single pit stop. Now, something to note about all of these races, you will never have to turn your fuel mix down. You have plenty of fuel to get to the end whilst running fuel mix 1. So don't worry about that. The main thing you need to worry about is tyre preservation and just keeping an eye on the tyre deg. So as you can see, I'm already working my way up through the grid on normal difficulty. However, on lap 3 I had a bit of a hiccup. This is going to be one of the only kind of big mistakes I made during my whole time with the Super Formulas. Just kind of putting my car in the wrong place at the wrong time and getting spun all the way around. I did lose quite a bit of time, and this is going to kind of show at the end of this race, as you can see. So I had to charge myself back up through the grid, and we're currently going to go to lap 8, where I'm actually going to take my pit stop for the race. So as you can see, the soft tyres will last a long time. Even when they've fully dropped off of that cliff, you won't really feel it too much, but you kind of don't want to overdo it, in all honesty. And I don't know if it's just because how the soft tyres are kind of, I guess, modeled for the Super Formulas, but because there's no real feeling of drop off, maybe this is why the AI may just go the whole stint on soft tires that I've heard from other people saying that they just completely stuck on some of these events because the AI just doesn't pit, but they're forced to pit. So who knows. In all honesty, it just seems to be a bit all over the place at the minute. So as you can see, some of the AI did pit a little bit later on for me, whereas some didn't. They actually managed to make these soft tires run the whole race. The main reason I know they're on soft is just because of their 1 lap pace seem to be very consistent around the soft tire pace, if that makes sense. I did finally take the lead on the last lap on the last corner of the Watkins Glen race, and I think that's mainly down to the incident costing me around about 15 seconds in total. It took me a while to get going again. So on to the second event, which is the St. Crow one. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, so I do apologise to anyone from France if I butchered that pronunciation. I believe it's kind of a French pronunciation or whatever you want to call it. So this is definitely, again, a very straightforward event. There's no weather or anything like that, and I actually went for a bit of a different strategy. Now, in terms of how the AI kind of worked around this one, again, they weren't, very inconsistent for me. There was actually rather quite consistent on this event, so I believe everybody did do a round of pit stops. So I went for the mediums to just go as long as I could, because this is quite a lengthy overall 1 lap, should I say. So that's why it's at 10 laps rather than the 12 and 15 that we get for Watkins Glen and Fuji. And as you can see, in all honesty, the mediums did have plenty of pace, just with the added extra life. There is no reason to use hard tyres at all in any of these Super Formula races. So on lap 4 I did have to serve a bit of a penalty. As you can see, it did kind of allow the AI to close the gap up again. However, I just pushed on forward and quite easily got through the pack. In all honesty, the AI here, like I said, sometimes they're really quick, and then on certain corners they're insanely slow, and sometimes you may run into the back of them, considering how close these cars are supposed to follow each other. You do have an overtake button as well, so just ensure that you are using that at the correct times and such. Especially if it comes to defending and you've got the AI quite close to you, I do recommend they're kind of using the overtake button as a defensive mechanism as well. So I did my one and only pit stop onto the soft, so I went medium to soft at the end of lap 7 going on to lap 8, and then just sprinted around for the rest of the event. As you can see, I did lose a couple of places whilst going through the pit stop. I'm going to come out in around about, I believe, P5. Yes, I did. Oh no, sorry, P7 after the pits. I quite easily took the lead again, only a lap or so later, so around about nearly 2 laps after that. I did manage to take the lead. That car had already pitted a lap earlier, which we saw, and as you can see, it's going to be a rather straightforward and easy win for that one. Now this is the one that seems to be causing people a ton of problems. As you can see, when I went on normal difficulty, I managed to get P6 at best. The AI for me seemed to absolutely shoot ahead. It seemed to be Frogger's AI that just absolutely went for some reason, and managed to gap every other car by around about 50 seconds, and I believe he didn't pit either. So yeah, it was really quite bizarre. So I went for these softs. I actually turned the difficulty down to easy, and I do recommend you doing that if you're just a completionist and you want the 6-star roulette ticket that you get from doing this cafe menu. I fully recommend just turning it down, because yeah, for some reason it does seem really kind of all over the place on Fuji. Certainly for me, and certainly for a lot of other people that I've heard around, saying that the Fuji event is just a little bit strange in how the AI works. I'm not too sure about the other ones. I've kind of heard a few things, but in all honesty, I do think that, you know, these races are a little bit more difficult than some of the other races we've had, but certainly at Fuji it does seem all over the place. It just seems like one of the strangest things happens. Like when you put it on easy, it's just far too easy. On normal, you'll have the inconsistency with the AI, where they're kind of on the right level, apart from maybe 1 or 2 of the AIs that will just absolutely just bolt from the rest of the pack at what seems like a very unreasonable pace. It almost feels like they're kind of stuck on the overtake button the entire lap, where you'll be kind of, you know, just going around at your normal pace, being strategic with it, obviously knowing that you can run out of your overtake button. So yeah, it really is kind of bizarre. But as you can see, on the easiest difficulty, it's just far too easy. I haven't actually tested it on hard difficulty yet, but after 3 runs on normal, I can certainly say for me, this one just seems a bit all over the place. So if you are having the same issues, just turn it down to easy and get it done nice and quickly. As you can see, I'm going to take the overall lead by the end of lap 2. That's just how easy it is. It's really, really bizarre. It's almost like going from kind of the most easiest race you've ever done to the most hardest race you've ever done by turning it up. And I believe there was a St. Croix event with the when the Toyota hypercar first came in, that was pretty similar to that, where it's just kind of all over the place. Now rain will threaten to come, however on every single run that I did, it came around the same lap and it never ever rained, so don't worry too much about rain. If it does rain for you, obviously go and cover that off. So again, I'm just going to go for another set of softs. As you can see, even when they dropped off, I could still ride around. Yes, okay, my overall lap time was a little bit slower, but in all honesty, it was never too much that affected the car and kind of spun around or anything like that. So even if the tyres do drop off, you know, just don't worry too much about having to pit instantly or anything like that. As you can see, I did manage to get this event done in just over 22 minutes, and that is going to be job done for all of these Super Formula events. What I am going to do with this event is run it a couple more times just to see exactly what the AI is doing, seeing how inconsistent they are. I know at one point it was one of the Japanese drivers that was kind of way ahead, and then I had Fraga go way ahead as well. So in terms of your reward for this one, you are going to get a 6-star roulette ticket. So I'll just quickly show you the reward I got from that. As you can see, we've got a Tomahawk S in there, I believe that is. And we've got the Lexus VGT, and we're going to basically just take away 500k from our roulette ticket, which isn't too shabby. In all honesty, I actually really enjoyed the Super Formula events, so I will talk about those when it comes to my 1.32 review. And now we're going to go into the oddball of the bunch. This is a hypercar one. Basically an excuse to use the Jaguar XJ220 for 7 laps around Interlagos. There is no fuel, no tyre wear or anything like that, so I just went for a fully upgraded XJ220 because I absolutely love this car and it feels very, very good within GT7, especially with the full upgrades and a proper race livery and such. It just feels absolutely incredible. You shouldn't have any issues with this one. I didn't notice any kind of weird bugs with the AI or any AI that seems seem to just teleport miles ahead of anyone else. So yeah, in all honesty, just go for a fully upgraded car and you'll get this one done nice and easy. There's not too much to really talk about in terms of this overall event. So to be totally honest about this event, just because of how quick it goes and comes and goes compared to like the super formulas and such, it does feel like an afterthought. In all honesty, it feels like filler content. The main kind of meat of the events of all 4 is the free super formulas. Yes, the payouts are absolutely rubbish, but in general they are really, really fun races. So going to this one last off just felt, I don't know, just, yeah, filler content, to be quite honest. It didn't feel really overall too good, and in all honesty it is super easy no matter what difficulty you put it on, because you can just go for a fully upgraded car and absolutely wipe the floor with the AI. The fact that there's no tie wear or anything like that, again, just a little bit disappointing. So it just kind of falls into the kind of padding out kind of event that we mostly get with these updates. So as you can see there, we got it first place. It's a 95k standard payout. In all honesty, that's not that great, but it is overall a very quick event to get done. So in all honesty, are these events worth completing? I would say yes, because they're overall quite fun, especially the Super Formula ones, apart from some of the inconsistency with the AIs that I had at Fuji, which just became overall frustrating, and then putting it on easy difficulty just became far too easy. However, Watkins, Glen and the St. Crow one I found genuinely enjoyable. So overall, they're okay events. This is just a quick guide to just show you what is the, in the events, what to expect, and a good decent strategy to beat them. In all honesty, racing soft for the Super Formula, and then just a fully upgraded for the Hypercar event, and you should be absolutely golden. So I'll get into my money methods and my car reviews over the next few days, as well as, diving a little bit deeper into 1.32. Thank you so much for watching. That is the events covered and done with, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.